This year, we told a lot of stories. Some were heavy, some were hopeful, and some stayed with us long after we packed up our gear. So, before we close the curtains on 2025, we decided to ask each person on the team 5 honest questions. Here's what they had to say. Hi, Sabika.
Hi, Tony.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Of everything you created this year, which piece impacted you the most?
I think I'd have to say it was a Human Angle Index episode.
Foreign information manipulation and interference.
It was one on foreign information and manipulation interference.
Femi distorts perceptions.
But it was very important for me to put it together and put it out, I think, majorly because we have been experiencing a surge in disinformation on the internet in the past couple of weeks and months. When I was doing research for this episode, I came across a lot of content that opened my eyes to the tactics that information manipulation is used to change the minds of people, to force them to act in ways that sometimes they typically would not, and also infuriate a people in a way that makes you pause and question. And I think it's in the pausing and questioning that I had to work on that episode.
Okay. Thank you. That's all you have to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Why am I finding this funny?
Hi, Rukaya.
Hi, Tony. So the constant thing that stays with me when I share stories of survivors is their resilience. Personally, every story has taught me contentment. And sometimes after an episode, I sit and reflect. If these people can find the strength to speak about it, it reminds me to always be contented in whatever situation I find myself. One episode that really stayed with me is episode 119 of Biribishe Rikichi. The title is Masikewa da Masikewa Su, which translates to the missing and those missing them. It's about 2 women. They lost their husbands. One also lost her child. Yeah, so their strength is something that has always stayed with me in a way I cannot explain.
I am currently on my way to the mine, but due to security reasons.
So let's go to Alamin. Yay! Hi, Alamin.
Hi, Tony.
Tell me about one frame, 1 second, or one scene from your work this year that you still carry with you after you shut your camera off.
It has to be the memories I carried from an investigation on artisanal mining I did earlier this year in January. The most vivid was when I was climbing the mountains while going for the story.
I don't much don't know.
While I was climbing those mountains, I was visibly going out of breath. My breathing wasn't even. And then while I was climbing, I was recording the process, so you could hear me panting in those videos. And then I got to the mining sites where I even got into a pit and a rock almost fell on me. So these 2 moments, I still carry them. I still remember them clearly, vividly. Yeah, these 2 are.
What is the story about?
So the story is about artisanal mining in Borno State, in southern Borno specifically, how youth who are mostly unemployed rely on artisanal mining for survival. Most of them are educated, but because they don't have other means of survival, so they have to turn to mining. But along the line, they get exploited by middlemen, despite the fact that they have to go through risky processes to extract these resources. And then coupled with the fact that the state government has placed a ban on mining in the state, citing security reasons. Yeah, so that's what the story is about. And interestingly, before my investigation, no comprehensive reporting has been done on artisanal mining in the state. So I can proudly say that mine is the first comprehensive reporting on artisanal mining in Borno State and even the Northeast entirely.
Got you. Doing amazing things, eh?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Killer. Finally, Mr. Killer. Of everything you created this year, which piece impacted you the most?
Wow. The Price of Fear, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
The animation series opened up a whole new dimension for me.
Yeah.
Showing how I can blend AI with my artwork to produce faster and more powerful results. So, like animation that can take up to 2 months or 3, I was able to shorten the duration to a month or even lesser, and with precision, and the details is quite outstanding. So on the Price of Fear animation alone, I experimented with over 4 different AI tools, and the outcome has been incredibly satisfying, and I hope to explore more.
Yeah.
One of the important story I have documented is the video documentary of Malamargi. Malamargi is a local farmer who is using farm activities to take care of her family and cater for the needs of her immediate family. The story is about the impact of insecurity, climate change, and economic hardship on local farmers. And the story depicts really the experiences of Malamargi. What is really important in this story, I discovered that women are majorly the groups of people who are engaged in farming activities in the Northeast. And this is largely because of the insecurity men are facing, abduction crisis, killing crisis, and generally terrorizing activities that are carried out on farming. And men stayed at home because they cannot go to farm, they cannot travel across long distances to take farming activities serious. And this is the major reason why women participate more in farming and men stayed at home. So this whole social change and social responsibility shift has already devastated the state and conditions of women in the Northeast, and this has affected the economic strength and the economic networks, which used to be equally distributed across men and women. But since the emergence of insecurity, violence, and all sort of events on farming, this has really changed. We have more women participating and going to farm than men. My concern, since I published this story, men are more vulnerable now because they don't go to farm. Women are more vulnerable now because they go to farm more. And this is why we see in the case of the story of Malamargi, there are many cases of abduction carried out and women fall victims.
The work doesn't just leave us when we stop recording. The stories sit with us in small ways, in big ways. As we step into a new era, we carry what we've learned and we keep going. Thank you for watching, listening, and reading HumAngle's.